Alrighty, gang. Welcome to episode 2 of the Pipeline Podcast. I'm joined here by Camrin Hoy and Trace T. I don't know if he wants his last name.
No. I don't mind at all. I mean, it'll come out probably eventually, but...
I guess this episode we're going to be talking a little bit about ourselves because we didn't do that in the first episode. We're going to start off with some life stories.
Do you want to start with kind of going off what me and you were talking about earlier outside?
About?
Like, how you made me laugh?
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we'll go on with Trace.
Well,
You'll go first,
do you want my point of view or your point of view?
You go with your point of view because my point of view is going to be a little bit more skewed. So I want to go...
Well, just do yours first then.
All right. So, there was this time where in elementary school I made Trace laugh so hard he pissed his pants. I often say shit his pants by accident, but I don't mean it. He did piss himself.
I have a story about it. I did. Anyways, yeah, we were playing tag, or like some kind of weird like hiding. It was a playground, so it was a weird hide and seek.
We're doing
thing.
stupid.
We're doing stupid. We're some form of tag or regular tag, but me and you were like laying in the group trying to hide.
Yeah.
Wasn't very well because there's hills fucking that.
You remember it better than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah. I this kid's with most of my friends. I'd like tell them all the stories. Like I don't remember any of that. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like the library of our friends' memories, essentially.
Scrapbook it.
Anyways, we were laying on the ground, like trying to hide from whoever was it, and you kept saying, I don't remember what you were saying though, but you kept saying shit that made me laugh. That was making me laugh the whole time, and and then at some point, I fucking pissed my pants.
Went down piss creek like, without a paddle.
This one dude that was there named Matt, like all through high school he was like a dickhead, but in junior high, in this moment, he was like one of the truest bros. He did a bro move that was like probably one of the best ones I ever experienced in my life. Cause he gave me the idea to hide it with like putting
with the jacket.
Yeah.
See, cause you covered yourself with the jacket.
Yeah, I tied it.
The stain.
Yeah, I tied it.
Yeah, and I remember the walk of shame to the nurse's office. I remember thinking in my head like,
dude, you know what the nurse said?
Huh.
I don't remember the exact word. It was like some like weird word, like he pissed his pants, but not like she didn't say piss. He's like he
urinated.
No, it was like some random words like fuck. I don't know what it was.
He piddled himself.
No, it wasn't like a funny word. It was just like it was like more like a kind of a weird like southern word.
Just kind of like called you out.
To my mom, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's more.
Well, it was over the phone, but it was like some word. I was like, oh.
Oh man. I remember
he soiled his, not soiled, but it was like kind of like that, like.
Well,
it was kind of word like soiled, like a synonym to like, or messed up his pants, like it was some word like that, but.
Well, for context, you and I had grown up since like what?
We were friends since first grade.
First grade, so we went all the way through 6th grade. Together.
Me and you had a feud.
For more than a couple, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, like that was the big feud. Was 6th grade?
What exactly? Can you remind me?
I don't know exactly what happened, but I don't know if I want to talk about it.
It's just gonna turn into another big fight.
I know exactly what it was, but it was kind of like I was the asshole, and I know I was, and you were calling me out for something, for what it was, but you're calling me out for being an asshole, but the reason you called me out for being an asshole wasn't the right reason.
Yeah.
I was being one.
Okay.
And then I said something to you to prove a point about how that wasn't the reason. Don't we just say it?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was one point where this one kid, remember Dominic?
Yeah.
He annoyed the shit out of me all through junior high.
Dominic.
They don't use last
I'll
names.
bleep the last name.
Okay.
Dominic, yes.
Dominic Blank.
Okay, remember we were in choir with him. And he annoyed the absolute shit out of me, like to the point where I was a bully to him, essentially. I didn't like go out of my way to be like, to go after him, right?
I did a couple times. That's for sure.
Yeah, but I would be like, shut up, Dominic, or I'll not pick, but like, if he would do something around me,
yeah,
or say something to me, or I'm like, Dominic, shut up, or something. I'll just be mean to him. But then, like, you called me out for one day. I don't know if it was just extra hard on him this day or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're like, you're just picking on him because he's fat. And I'm like, and I was just like to you, I was like, no, I don't. Like, yeah, you are. And I was like, you're my friend. I don't pick on you because you're fat.
I'm like, yeah, but that's different.
But no. But then you're just like, don't talk to me. Don't hang out with me at lunch or anything. And that's basically how we became best friends with Devin, your brother.
Oh, really?
That's because like he was the new kid. Him and remember Jonathan at all? Tall.
Yeah.
Kid was the one kid that was taller than Devin. Well, Devin was my height back then. Anyways, do you remember Jonathan at all from junior high?
No, I don't.
Okay,
Sadly.
he's like, I don't know if this will ring any bells, but he's the kid who wore the red jacket every day and had a laptop bag.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah,
I
him.
remember.
So him and Devin were the new kids, and they hung out together, and I had English class with them, and I kind of mingled with them here and there, and I was just like, hey, do I have to hang out with you after lunch? Because you blocked me completely from talking to like Vincent. I don't know if Vincent was still there.
I was a huge asshole, and like, I'm sorry, Cameron, you'll get your part in, but we're starting from the get go.
Yeah.
So like, I was a complete fucking dickhead. Like, I was one of the most angry children I knew, and it's not even because I was strong or anything. Which, granted, I was. You're
the strongest kid in our grade.
I was a big kid.
You're actually the strongest kid in our grade, up to, I think 6th grade even. I think you were still like, no one fucked with you essentially.
Well, that's just because I was an asshole. Like I was.
Well, also too, like everyone knew you can beat the shit out of people. Most of them remembered 5th grade, where you fucking almost beat our bullies.
Yeah,
in the concrete.
I slammed his head on the concrete.
Well, you tried slamming yours, to be fair.
Yeah.
First, right?
Yeah.
Anyways,
he was chasing me up the stairs, and he like dragged my leg, and my chin hit the concrete.
Yeah.
And so like I turned and I grabbed his hood and I lifted it over his head and I slammed his nose into the concrete.
Dude, none of the teachers believed us.
What?
None of the teachers believed us.
None of the teachers did. But it happened so fast.
Well, just in general, like they bullied us like half that 4th grade.
I know, and
no one believed
because
us.
Mr. Bales was like one of the best teachers.
It wasn't Mr. Bales.
You had Mr. Reedhead.
No, that was 5th grade. I had Lordson. We were in that other side building, remember?
Got you.
You had whoever down the hallway.
Yeah.
And that blown building that's connected to it doesn't go into the cafeteria, but remember it's connected to it.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to like the piss story. That same year, because we're talking about that same year. I don't know if I told you. I probably did, but that same year I shit my pants too.
we all have.
But it's because, dude, this one was bad. This day, I didn't. I thought it was a fart, and it was like a log.
I pushed and I dropped some tinder.
Well, like it was one of those like because I told Ivy and she's like, how do you not know it was a log? But now like I didn't say this at first, but in retrospect, thinking right now, I'm like, it shot out.
At least it just didn't slide up your back. Because like,
I know.
When people have diarrhea and they're sitting down, they shit.
It wasn't
Rhea. It's like the pressure just like
it
slides up their back.
It wasn't Rhea. It was like solid shit.
Yeah. It was a solid snake.
I think until lunchtime, I didn't want to drag any attention to myself.
Yeah.
At all. So like, I like went through the day. I went through until we had like lunch break, with the shit in my pants. I remember we got in line because you got in lines to go everywhere.
Yeah.
We got in line and these two girls behind me like, it smells like poo. And I turned around and I was like, it does. Like trying to
probably Dominic.
No, Don wasn't. I don't think he was in my class.
I know.
But I was like, you know, it does. Like trying to take any like suspicion off me.
Sus.
I don't know if it. Well, also it's like we're all like 11, 12.
Yeah, we were
so, like,
really young.
So I bet you have probably worked because kids are dumb.
Yeah, well, not only that, but they're like really fucking mean, and it's because they have so little power that when they have that power to make fun of somebody, they will take that to the fucking.
But I was like, yeah,
back.
it does. Anyways, and then I think I waited to try to clean myself up, but I still went through the rest. I was like, I'm not going home for this. I'm not letting my mom know. I'm not letting anybody know I did this.
I had a similar.
But now I tell everybody because it's funny.
In my first year, because
hilarious.
See, I had gotten out of Sholo in my 6th grade year to get away from everybody, kind of just start anew. First of all, the coach for football was being an asshole. He wouldn't give me my gear, and he would like pick me out of everybody to fuck with.
He told me about that, like as it was happening.
Yeah,
because me and you, like, nothing. You left 7th grade.
Yeah,
because me and you were hanging out again.
Yeah,
like it was only literally that 6th grade thing. It was like the last 2 weeks of 6th grade.
Yeah.
So then I like asked Devin to hang out, and then we just hung out all through summer. That's how that happened. But
yeah,
me and you, 7th grade came back and we were like, We made
more.
up.
Yeah.
We didn't talk anything over. We were just like, hey,
Well,
wanna
like,
hang out? And like, yeah.
The thing is, I had left Sholo to become a better person and to start anew, to basically like restart my reputation. Because in Sholo, I was just a dickhead. I was just this fat dickhead.
But you're also really funny.
I was funny.
So everyone
like,
loved you. Though,
yeah,
too.
everybody. They liked laughing around me, but when I was gone, I guarantee you they talked shit so much about me.
They didn't do it to me because they knew I was your friend.
Yeah, you were like, we were joined at the hip.
Dude.
But I remember...
We were so close in 4th and 5th grade, remember? I looked exactly like you.
Yeah.
Like, I gained like a lot of weight.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. But.
Yeah, no, but I was a big kid.
Yeah. And then, yeah, 5th grade, like, people literally thought we were twins. I remember, dude, I saw a picture of myself in my grandpa's house.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is Kevin in my grandpa's house? Because I don't think I ever brought you there.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw the shirt, I was like, that's my shirt. That's me. Because we had the exact same hair, too.
Yeah.
We had, like,
were
long,
blonde.
like, not blonde.
I was dirty blonde.
I was, too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, kind of, yeah. And then also, we had the same haircut.
Yeah.
We were like, it was like
that-
Zack and Cody, like long Zack and Cody style.
Yeah. But back to my story. I remember leaving...
Yeah.
No, you're good. I remember leaving Sholo to start a new reputation. And when I went to Sequoia, in the first week, I was super quiet. And I remember in the 3rd day of class, I shit my pants so fucking
Me and you shit
hard.
We're shit brothers.
We're shit pals. We're shit bits.
Do you think it was a fart
Shit
too?
twins. No.
Dude,
I
okay,
kind of just relaxed my asshole too much, and like I was just chilling, and it just slid out, but it was so bad that it stained the chair. Like it got on the chair.
Or did it leak out?
Up,
or did it
it went up my pants and it leaked out. And so I'm trying to keep my reputation uphold. And at this point, I am fucking freaking. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, God, I'm going to be that kid who shit his pants and got shit on a chair. They're going to call me shitwig for, like, the rest of the fucking school year. No.
No.
I had played it off the whole day, but the entire day, people were like, God, what? And, like, some kid... He walks by me through the hall, and I hear him go, as I'm walking past him, and I keep going in my head, just keep walking, just keep walking, just keep walking. And at this time, I had already cleaned it out. Like I took my underwear and I put them in the fucking toilet, trying to clean my underwear, and I was like getting it all out, but the smell was still there. So
well, it's just wet shit.
Yeah, exactly. So like I'm walking around and my ass is getting this rash. This whole dude, it was the last hour of the fucking day. I'm sitting in the back of the class and nobody's around me, and I see the door open and it's one of the few friends I had made, and he looks right at me and he starts walking over, and there's nobody else around me, so I'm going, oh fuck, he's already smelt it once throughout the day. He's gonna fucking know as soon as he sits down. And he comes over, and as soon as he gets like to the seat right next to me, he turns around and walks away. And I like scooch my ass, and I notice him staring at me while I do that, because it was itchy because of the rash that I was gaining throughout the day. And so like I itch my ass, and at the end of the day he walks up to me and he goes, "You shit your pants, didn't you?" And I went, "What?" He was like, "You got an itchy ass, huh?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "Not only do I smell the bullshit, I see it in your fucking face." Like you lost all color once I brought that up, Kevin. And I was like, "Okay, I shit my pants."
Did you guys
he was
become
like,
friends after that?
"Oh yeah."
But is he your best Sequoia friend?
No, well, no. He actually got expelled.
No, well, up to that point at least.
He was chill. Like, he was super chill about it, but at the same time, I was like, "Did you tell anybody?" And he was like, "Oh, like 5 people."
Debate.
And at that point, like for the next week, nobody would like stand around me, even though
so
it was clean.
Everybody knew.
Yeah, I definitely.
Nobody knew me. I played it off so fucking.
But
I don't think I got a rash though, so that probably helped me. But
what got everybody to like me again is like my teacher, Mr. Kreider, had seen potential and like how funny I would be around my friends, and he was like, "Why don't you do stand up?" And I had gone up and I did a stand up routine, but the first thing I said
was it for like a talent show or?
No,
was it just for like
he just believed in me. Like he thought I could.
Was this
make
like a
the
random
whole class.
day in school and he's like, all right, Kevin's gonna do some stand up?
Yeah, that's
cool.
exactly how it was.
Right.
And I come up and I'm like, you guys are gonna get quite the laugh from the kid who shit his pants on the first day. And, yeah, and they all started like busting up, and Mr. Kreider was so cool about it. He didn't say anything about me cussing, but that had the class roaring. So from then on, it was just an easy streak of just making them laugh. And at that point,
streak.
It was
the only easy streak you made.
Too easy, if you ask me. Too easy.
Which one was easier?
Both. I mean, like they both were pretty easy to do. It's just
one was just reflex.
One was harder to deal with. So after that, everybody loved me. Like they thought that it was hilarious that I just owned the fact that I shit my pants and I didn't really try to hide it from anybody. But I kind of went overboard.
I got
with
one
it.
up on you though. I pissed and shit my pants the same year.
Ooh.
Yeah, double points. And
in the
now,
same year.
Since we've talked about 16 minutes about Trace and I's story.
Well, hold on, I got. I'm sorry,
no,
Cameron.
you go ahead.
I'm sorry. I have 2 more related stories, and then I'm gonna ask.
We're gonna get to.
I have an idea.
I
have an idea of where
That's good. I'm enjoying this.
I have an idea of what a next question should be, like still related, but not like shit and piss.
Yeah. Well, after we're done with your stories, we're gonna go into like how Camrin falls into the play on our friendship.
Well, you guys are first,
but then after that, I have a very important question I want to ask as the group. But okay. Cameron, I'm gonna let Cameron go first since he. So my 2 related stories. So they're fart stories.
Okay. You have a really big thing with assholes, huh?
Trace, he hung out with colon. Dude.
He hung out with me all throughout elementary school, and then he shit his pants. And now he's just telling 2 stories about him farting.
So now he's just telling a couple stories about how his ass
grade,
exploded.
Actually, I have one more fourth. Sorry, this one's really short. But you remember that joke you made? I remember you told me about this joke you made in 4th grade in your class when you farted, and you were like, "Somebody here, you guys hear something?" And everyone laughed, right? Yeah. And then my phone. This isn't what my fart story is, but like my phone went off. And like it vibrated in the desk. It was in the metal desk, so it vibrated and or a ding. I don't remember. It made a noise, and everyone looked at me, and I was like, "Did you guys hear something?" And then no one laughed.
You killed the mood.
Because everyone was like, what the everyone knew it was me. Like, not like smiling faces. It's like you interrupted
the
quiet
class.
time. Yeah, it wasn't like
the devil.
It was like we were just silently like doing work, and no one looked at me, and like. Yeah, I did that. I was expecting at least one shot. No, I was expecting everyone to laugh because I thought it was funny.
It was so good, dude.
But then it's like, if you guys hear something from the guy who like never speaks up, right?
I mean, like in a retrospect, dude, that was fucking gold.
But my teacher, she shook her head at me.
She was just like,
and then it was like,
she
shook her head at me from her desk and walked up and like did like the hand thing.
Yeah, give me your phone.
And I was like. Shamefully. And so that same year, I had a lot of shit happen
Hey man,
in 4th grade.
Had rough childhoods
together.
Dude,
remember that one lockdown in 4th grade where we were there for like we were like hidden for like ever. It was like a real lockdown. It wasn't a drill, but it wasn't like anything.
What was that about?
Some dude just like some sketchy dude just like walked by
on campus.
Yeah, I don't think he walked in. He just walked by. Okay. Something I don't remember. And like. I don't remember if it was audible or not, but we're under the desk and I farted. I think it was quiet. I don't remember for sure. It might have been a little. Anyway, either way though, I was like laughing the whole time during the drill. And I was like, and you know how those things you're dead silent. Like you can hear like
anything, like a spider walking.
Yeah,
you're a fly fart.
Yeah.
I don't know if he heard me fart. I don't remember that part for sure. I just remember me laughing, and like my desk was in the very back, and it was right, and so like. 5 feet away from where was like the teacher, like where she sits to like watch the door or watch, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like laughing my ass off like underneath the desk during an actual lockdown, and like my teacher's like giving me death eyes, and I'm like I know I always look and I like notice I'm like. trying to like stay shit. But you know how like when you know you're supposed to be quiet.
Yeah.
It's harder not to laugh.
Well,
because also I was thinking is like the severity of this moment, the severity of what's going on is so high, and I'm just gut busting underneath my desk.
Well, like just
like hiding from a potential shooter.
Imagine like the potential shooter walking in the room and just hearing. The teacher's trying to hide all the kids, and she just can't because
there's at least one kid in here. She didn't say anything to me though. I'm surprised she didn't like fucking tear my ass.
What if you just farted louder and went?
Dude, what if I did? Dude, it would have been way fun. Dude, I bet you if I did an the only reason I think it wasn't audible is because no one else laughed. They just heard me laughing for no reason. But I felt like if it was just that and like dead silence, then everyone knew it was a lockdown, right?
Did you guys hear something?
Because you can always tell. Because there's a decent way in. So everyone, you know how, because you can always tell when it's like a literal lockdown, right? Yeah. Just because of how like the difference in like how the teacher acts, like the slight, even if you're a kid, you know.
Yeah.
So like I bet you if I, that's why I don't think it was audible, because no one else was laughing. So I bet you if I was an audible like loud fart, or at least like a, everyone would have been laughing with me, and the teacher would be like, "Everyone, shut the fuck up!
We are hiding from a shooter." Ladies, man.
And then, sorry, my last story. I have another one, but I'm not gonna talk about it. It was this freshman year. We were in PE, and I released a nuclear bomb out of my asshole. Like,
I love this story.
Did I tell you this? Probably have. So, it was PE, and I wasn't planning this at all. Like, I was just a free farter for most of my life. And I walked up to like Tyler because he was in the same PE class. His locker was right next to the door.
Yeah.
And I walked over to him, and I like felt it, and I just released it, like trying to be quiet. Honestly, I was trying to be quiet, and it was dead silent, but my asshole was like burning hot, and I was like, I need to get out of here. So I went back. Mine were in this. It was like the same like aisle, not aisle, but it was like there's like two groups of lockers, right?
Feel Satan's finger.
And mine was like
out.
I was in the corner. No, he burped out. He breathed out of my asshole.
He straight opened his mouth at the glands and went.
No, he went like. And then I walked. I didn't say anything to Tyler when I walked over. I just like, so from he told me he was like, I was wondering why you just walked over, didn't say anything and left. And then all of a sudden like everyone's like, oh my god, everyone's like literally freaking out. And then I was so scared. I didn't want anyone to know. This was the best poker face I ever pulled off in my life. I just sat there and watched for the first person to pull their shirt over their nose, and then after they did that, I was like silently laughing like my ass off underneath my shirt, you know? Like I was just like I tried so hard not to show like, you know, like when when you laugh, you like your body like shakes. Yeah. I hid that too. I was like, it wasn't that loud, but just for people at home.
That would have been like, did somebody hear that?
No, and then like everyone was blaming Tyler, our friend Trevor, our friend Wyatt. Everyone's blaming there was like, who did it? There's a news like us, like someone in the floor, and I was like, I was in the corner, I was in the farthest away from the door in that aisle, so no one even blamed me.
Somebody's sitting on ice
no
cubes.
one even suspected me. And then like. Just the whole it was like it was literally every single person was like, oh my god.
Basically EMP'd your fucking group.
And then like it was right at the door, so everyone had to walk through it.
Oh my god.
And then there's a connecting locker room too.
The fact that you just disrupted like a whole group of kids with
a whole class
fucking radiational fart. It is godly.
Yeah, my favorite part of the story is the fact that Trace walked up to some guy, didn't say a word, and was just...
He didn't even suspect me. Tyler's like my best friend, one of my best friends, and he knows me, and he didn't suspect a thing.
I just love like the fact that Trace...
I don't know if that's just how hard...
and walked away.
I don't know if that's literally the only thing that gave me away.
Play Among Us with that logic.
I think every other time, every second past me just like saying something, I didn't do anything suspicious that anyone saw at least. But that's like, if Tyler would have brought that up, I would have been like,
Yeah,
dead to
Trace
right.
just walked to me and then walked away.
Yeah, but no, like 80, there's a connecting locker room, so like only two. I'm surprised no one else went through. Like only like 2 or 3 kids went to this connecting locker room. That's for like the sports people, and went out that door. But like, in 95% of the class went through the fucking
The shit grenade you left.
the fucking Agent Orange I left there. And then like everyone, dude, this one kid, remember?
Gas them like the Jews,
dude,
homie.
it's funny because the kid who got blamed was like, "God, I didn't do it." This made me laugh more under my shirt.
Sounds like Rodney.
It wasn't Ronnie. It was Wyatt.
Do it.
It was Wyatt. He was like, "Guys, it wasn't me." And all his friends, his best friends, were all like, "Dude, it was you. Like, dude, it was you. We all know it was you."
That's Among Us.
I'm surprised
in a
no one
nutshell,
pointed a
bro.
finger at me. I was
so good.
Dude, if if Among Us were real, I would if I were the killer, I would stand in the doorway. Someone would be like, "What are you doing?" I'd fart and then lock the door. See you. Be like, "You son of a bitch."
Okay. So sorry. I'm sorry, Camrin. So how are you affiliated? How are you affiliated? How did you meet us, essentially?
So
Who did you meet first and how?
I definitely met Trace first,
Okay.
and like
It was our 6th grade summer.
That's something
Yeah.
I didn't know.
yeah, I believe like the start of mine and Trace's friendship was definitely
Devin.
what it was. Of course, of Devin. Devin brought you over.
Devin took
But-
me into your room and was like, "This is Cameron."
Yeah, and I think like
Do we need to angle this better since you're talking now?
yeah. So I think at the time when Devin introduced you to me is when I was drawing a bit more. I was starting to get more into drawing, and of course I draw anime characters, and so Trace got
I wasn't even
little-
in anime at all.
Yeah,
I watched Naruto like back on Toonami, and I've never watched it since.
Yeah.
And Dragon Ball and all that.
and so like Trace, that kind of like started a small demographic because Trace at the time was kind of drawing, but not a lot because he was in.
I just showed you my shitty cartoon dogs I drew.
Yeah, and it was.
And you were like, it shows how not so nice guy you are. Because I feel like you're just like, oh, good job.
the thing is like,
You're like, yeah, you're getting there.
the comments I was giving you, it's I base it off of what I used to do when I was at your age at the time, because I'm in high school, you're still in middle school,
Yes.
because I'm a freshman.
That was my first. I was like 11.
Yeah, I was a freshman
No,
in high school.
12. I was 12.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school, and you were still in middle school. And the art you were doing compared to what I did when I was in your grade looked better. So, in my opinion, I can't judge you of like, wow, that looks like shit. Because when I was your
Also-
age, my art looked like shit compared
Yeah,
to it.
I feel like too. Like most people have like at least I don't know a lot of high schools. A lot of high schools are dickheads in general.
Yeah.
But I feel like you were like you had like better morality than I feel like a lot of people, a lot of high schoolers who just won't think like to say, oh, that's okay. You know, you're like
Mine's better.
because you're like how old were you?
Of course yours is better.
What's our age difference? What's our age gap? How old are you?
I am 23.
So you were only 2 years old. So
Yeah.
you were fresh. It's like 15-year-old telling a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like especially as a 15-year-old, you wouldn't be as like high as I don't know. At least that's what I think. I don't know if it's true like statistically or whatever. There's just what I think. I feel like 15-year-olds in generally aren't like have the best morality or the best like sense of like I shouldn't say this or I should say that. But you're like you're speaking to a 12-year-old being like, yeah, like it's pretty good. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
someone like someone who draws way better than I do likes my drawing.
Yeah.
That's because I think at the time I was actually drawing pretty decent for my age. Like I believe at the time I did a really good what was it? It was a Full Metal Alchemist picture of Edward Elric that I was doing in pencil for my art class, and I think that was the artwork Trey saw me doing, and he complimented me on it and showed me his stuff, and that's when we like kind of started talking.
Dude, you're the sole reason I'm in love with anime. Dude, by the way,
It's this whole reason
you
Kevin's in
introduced
love
me.
with
I was gonna
anime.
say
know what
that.
got me into it? It was also you introduced me to this one anime, and this one anime burst into like me loving it. You introduced me to Full Metal Alchemist. Speaking
Dude,
of which,
Oh
And-
my god,
and
what a good anime.
The best
watched
part about
both
that
of
whole
this-
scenario too is like, at the time, I was getting into Brotherhood because I was really into the original. I thought Brotherhood was just a retelling of the story, but no, it's a whole new,
yeah, you told me
different thing on
and you
its
explained
own.
both to me.
Yeah,
I watched both. Like literally, like at that point, I was only watching 4 shows.
Yeah.
At that point, after I met you, and it was Walking Dead, because it was like it was when it was season 3 and it was really
Yeah.
good still.
that's when it was like exploding. in
I was
popularity.
watching Walking Dead, Breaking Bad, and Walking Bad was pretty new too. Like,
Yeah.
only
Yeah.
two seasons in,
Yeah,
and then both Film Alchemist at the same time. That's literally the only 4 shows. So like, you introduced me to Brotherhood's one of my favorite animes.
dude, Brotherhood is. You want to talk about original idea? There is nothing
Like
in this
Full
world like
Metal
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. That is such a good show. So original.
Dude, literally, that's like probably one of the first shows. Sorry, it's probably one of the first shows where like I got like excited to watch the next episode.
Dude, it was really good.
Like
I
not
loved it.
many shows ever did that, especially as a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll be like, awesome new show, but like you like did something to me that improved my life.
The thing about Cameron that I really love is that when he talks about like anime, or he tells you
He
about
explains
like, a
it really well.
He does explain it really well, and like he's
Dude.
super passionate about it,
Yeah.
which
Like-
makes you want to.
'cause
Like,
I'm in
be-
love
That's
with
why-
it.
also, you're the reason I got into My Hero as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is the 1st
Let's go
anime
back
I
to the
watched.
last podcast.
To be 100% honest.
100%.
100%. Yeah.
But you told me about it when it was only the manga.
No.
I think at first. Or-
So my friend Mark, you know Mark.
Yeah.
I think you know Mark too.
yeah, I
but-
remember
You don't like
Yu-Gi-Oh?
me too
or Yu-Gi-Oh
much.
moment.
Yeah, you go Mark. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have some stories about him. But anyway, he showed me My Hero Academia when we were living together. He showed me the first 2 episodes. I think there was
Oh,
only
it was
3 out at the
already?
time.
Yeah,
Huh, yeah, it was a show already, and
Yeah.
he had told me about it. He was like, "This is a really good show. I highly recommend
Was
you
there
watch
a long
it."
gap between season 1 and 2 then?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
'cause
there
I
was a
remember-
long wait.
Because the reason I thought it was manga, thinking back, is because you told me about it, and it was years after,
Yeah,
right? And then the reason I watched it is because I remember you telling me about it. It was really good. It was superpowers of calm quirks, right? But then like when it started like picking up like momentum, I like saw what it was talking about, like quirks, and I was like, Cameron was telling me about this,
yeah.
and like I checked it out. But anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. But I believe mine and Trace's relationship, as like my high school career was going, me and Trace definitely got closer and closer as time went on,
I remember
because
you-
we had more interest as we went
I
on.
remember
Yeah.
when I was still in junior high, you told me. I remember this exactly. I remember that you told me if you and me were the same age, right, and went to the same school and stuff, me and you would be way better friends than me and Devin would have been at the time, at least. Well, even let's say like you first roles were switched, and you were the younger brother, right? Or if I was your age and Devin was just younger brother,
Yeah,
and I went to Blue Ridge, you went to some whatever, right?
yeah.
Me and you would be like you were saying, like me and you would be way better friends. And I was
Like-
yeah, I can see that.
Well, like the whole reason that was going through my mind in that scenario, it's because like I feel like Devin became really attached to you and really good friend with you because you had same interest as me. And Devin's a really like big family guy. He really likes his siblings. He loves his parents, you know, and he's all he's all into that stuff. And so like meeting someone like you that has a lot of common interests as his older brother, it definitely attracted.
No, I
and so
think
it worked
too,
out well.
because I made him laugh, like that those 2 weeks. I was hanging out with him because he was going like on and off. He was arguing with his girlfriend at the time, a lot. And I remember me, him, and Jonathan were hanging out like where like there's no one really else, and they're just arguing. And I just walked up behind because her back was to me, and I was just retarded and like doing like stupid like dance moves like. And like just I'm making him laugh while she's really mad at him
Yeah.
about something or not. I don't know what it was. I think it was just boyfriend like
Just
regular
an
arguments that couples have.
Yeah.
And he was laughing. She's like, "Why are you laughing?" And it was like, and she'd look at me, and I'd just be like,
Like everything's good.
because I see like this first one I was like still, so she didn't see me move.
Yeah.
And she didn't. She was like, she's probably new, but she couldn't say anything because she didn't see me do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was just over and over. I think that's probably what also was like.
That's
I
definitely
need to
what
keep
did
this
it.
guy.
But like yeah, and as time went on,
Because I
while
also
was
came in
high
your room and
school-
hung out all the time.
Yeah.
I hung out with you a lot. Like Devin would be doing something, I'll just walk in your room and hang out.
Yeah, then it kind of me and Trace both like got into Yu-Gi-Oh about the same time. Like I got into it, and he got into it with me about the same time.
At that point, I was only collecting all that cards.
Stuff. Yeah,
and then you actually taught me how to play the game, and I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, and it was really fun. It was really good, and so throughout the entirety of my high school is basically how I met Trace, but after high school, when I was going through some shit, I was severely depressed, severely upset, and Devin brought Kevin over when I was over at my parents' place, and Kevin was the first person to make me laugh while I was in this state, and it just gave me so much happiness and joy that I like really wanted to keep him next to me in a sense, because it was like I was happy again in a way, because I was having somebody make me laugh and keeping me like out of focus of what was making my life negative at the time.
Yeah.
And so that's how I became really good friends with Kevin. Like Kevin could tell you too, like a week or two after I had met him, I had got back in touch with Dallas, and I told Dallas all about Kevin. I was like, this guy's freaking hilarious. He makes me laugh my ass off. And we walk in, and Kevin's there hanging out with Devin, and I was like, Dallas,
was I there?
that's the kid. That's the kid I was telling you about. I don't think you were there.
You're like, Kevin, play the ukulele.
Yeah.
And I get on the ukulele and just start singing stupid shit.
I think I kind of remember that. I don't know if he did that multiple times.
I did do that.
Then that was probably what I'm remembering then.
And
sorry, go on.
That's
not about
it, dude.
And that's kind of like where mine and Kevin's friendship started, was just stupid moments like that, but meeting each other at the perfect time of our lives where we, in a sense, needed each other.
Yeah.
And it worked out really well.
Because I was trying to step away from my friend group at the time, which was really dark.
I introduced you to Devin, too.
Yeah.
Dude, that was probably... It was over Skype. Remember? It was me, you, Devin,
and Tyler.
And that was probably one of my favorite moments ever.
Yeah.
Was
dude,
talking... Because I was in Mesa at my dad's house.
Yeah.
And I was like... me and Tyler were talking to Devin about you. We're like, dude, have you met... Because obviously you're going to the same school.
Yeah.
But he just hasn't like been around you ever. I was like, dude, have you met Kevin? He's like, I think he knew of you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I think you were trying to like... you're trying to talk to me or something over Skype.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, join Skype. And I was like telling Devin, like, dude, Kevin's gonna come on. And then that fucking... We probably talked for like 2 hours or more. I remember we were doing like stupid faces.
Yeah.
And like we were all taking pictures.
Not only that, but we were like going through like really bad creepy pastas.
And we're making memes of our faces.
Yeah.
The most disgusting photo of me came out of that, and I think it's probably one of my favorite photos of me.
One of these days,
it's all red faced and like up close to the camera, like.
One of these days, I wanna if we ever get a budget, I want to be able to get a really nice camera, or I just want to upload a picture that I have of me to a video of ours and just show everybody the worst picture I have of me.
You can just send it to me.
I'll show you guys right now for like an analyze reaction.
And then you can just send it to me. I'll put it on here.
Yeah, when he shows it, you show it to us.
I need you guys to see this though, because this is something I really haven't shown anybody. Just because. Oh boy. Did little Kevin not know what to do on picture day?
Dude, real quick, little self-conscious moment. I kind of hate, like, so I noticed this on myself, like, when there's, like, stories or something, and, like, or if I'm talking a lot, and I'm like, or, like, you're telling stories, I'm like, was I there for this? Was I there for that? Just probably was like, I don't know if I remember her correctly or not.
Yeah.
But I guess self-conscious, like, I hope no one thinks I'm just trying to make this about me.
So, one thing I do want to include real quick. Oh, you got that picture?
Yeah.
Okay. That is beautiful. It looks like something's wrong with your eye.
Pot Asian. I'm a pot Asian ready.
Oh, you gotta send that to Trace so I can put it in the video. Oh my god.
I want to see mine.
Let's
see if I can find it. Can you tell me stories while I look for it?
But one thing I wanted to include while we're here talking about like connections and friendships is about another person that's a really big part of the channel right now, Jason. So mine and his story is completely retarded, but it like worked out so well. It was about the time when Naruto was getting really big. Like Naruto was a brand new show, good anime, picking up really good traction. I remember day one. In this new middle school, I had no friends. I didn't know anybody. I had went to the elementary school that was connected to the middle school, but I had like joined it at the very last quarter, so I never really made friends. I just kind of knew people around. So I'm walking around this middle school, have no friends whatsoever. I'm going to my first class, and I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. Teacher finally shows up, lets me into the door. I go in, sit down at my desk, and we're going. All people are walking in. I'm watching people walk in, and then Jason walks in. Jason, I kid you not, at the time looked like a full-grown high schooler walking into this class.
Yeah, no, I know who Jason is.
And so I'm looking at him, and I'm just like, what is a man doing in a kid's class? I was like, what is this? And so, like, a couple days go by. I never talked to him, never said anything to him, because he looks like a grown-ass man.
Yeah.
He scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But, like, day 3... I'm waiting outside the classroom, and Jason walks up to wait outside the classroom as well. And he has a Naruto shirt on. And I look at him, and I was like, you like Naruto? And he was all, yeah, I really like Naruto. And I was like, this is going to be the start of something cool. And so, I kid you not, that entire day, we just geeked out about Naruto. And then we ended up finding a lot of other common interests. We both like Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just going over all the nerd stuff.
I think I know where this story's going. So
yeah, we fucked.
I was about to say that.
Well, are you going where like he goes to your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So then we get to the point. Jason's like, "Hey, we should hang out after school." Yeah, this is why I lived in Tucson.
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey, we should hang out after school. You know, do something over the weekend." I was like, "All right, yeah, you can come over to my place. You can meet my family. We can have a good time."
Yeah.
He goes, "All right." The weekend comes.
I know exactly.
I give Jason my address and directions to get to my house. He shows up. I'm in my bedroom, which is at the time attached to the kitchen. It's on the like opposite side of the house from the front door. He comes up to the front door, knocks on the front door, rings the doorbell. My dad answers the door. My mom and dad know that I have a friend coming over, and so they're expecting him. My dad answers the door and sees this fucking 5'8" middle school 6th grader standing at his door, and my dad looks at him and he's like, Who are you? And he goes, I'm Jason, I'm Cameron's friend, I'm here to hang out. And my dad's like, okay, and he's like, just wait right here for a sec, and he closes the door, and he turns around, walks into my room, opens my door, and goes, Cameron, who the hell is at the front door? And I was like, I'm looking at him like, who are you talking about? Like, he's like, there's a grown man asking for you at the front door. So at this point, my head's spinning. I was like, what grown man is at the front door asking for me? And so I go walking up to the front door with my dad standing close behind me just in case something weird happens.
Yeah.
I open the door and I see him and I'm like, oh, Jason, you're here. And I turn and look at my dad and I'm like, this is Jason. And my dad's like,
How old is he?
yeah, my dad's like, how old are you? And I think at the time me and Jason were both 12.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm 12. And my dad's like, okay. And like, my dad's just still very like skeptical on everything. And so he lets him in, and like my parents ended up liking him a lot. You know, they thought he was a good kid. And so to skip ahead like maybe a year, now me and Jason are in 7th grade. I have a crap ton of new friends at school at this point. We had this really quiet kid.
Popular.
Me and Jason knew this really quiet kid named Nick. And the only time Jason had ever been able to get him... No, this was when I lived in Tucson.
Well, I just don't know which friends you had over. Because I was at your house like a lot.
In Tucson.
I know, but I don't know if you had friends come over from Tucson.
No, I never did.
Okay.
I was always visiting them.
Well, I know, that's it. I was just making sure.
Yeah. So, our friend Nick, Jason had only ever really got him to talk to us once, and then he started talking to us more. It was about Pokemon, because he was a big Pokemon nerd.
Yeah.
And anytime me and Jason would meet up with him in the morning, if we couldn't get him to talk, we would both like wrap our arms around him and just sway him back and forth. Like, if you had a bad day, you take it one day. And, you know, we would just sing to him, and it would make him laugh. And so it brightened his day. It was nice. But around this time period, he's really comfortable with my family. He knows my family a lot at this point. He knows Justin, Tina, all my family members at this point. And so I had him over one weekend. My parents were having a little party. I think it was like Justin's birthday or something. And Justin just got hammered. Like how whatever Justin do, but he got hammered, and me and Jason were wrestling around in the living room, and I get up to like run away from him, and I run into my bedroom, and when I run into the bedroom, all I hear is a loud thud and a crash, and I was like, what the hell happened? So I walk out in the living room. Apparently, Justin saw Jason chasing me down the hallway, and like Justin was like, oh, I want to wrestle too. And he jumped on Jason's back, and Jason fell over and put him through the wall.
Oh my god.
And my dad comes walking in, and he's like, what the hell happened?
He probably used more colorful
Yeah,
words.
and Jason's sitting there on the ground like, I'm bad. Like, I don't, like, he doesn't know what to say. And Justin's just sitting there, like, still kind of in the wall, like, like, just he's drunk. And it was just a really funny moment, and my parents will always remember Jason as the guy that put our cousin Justin through a wall. But
Like your dad.
yeah,
Your dad probably one of the funniest people, like parents. I've like.
Oh yeah,
cool.
he's great.
Dude,
Yeah, my dad's
I know
hilarious.
this word isn't like the best. It's not really no one. It's really bad. It was bad always, but it was more acceptable in the time, right? So, like I remember the first thing because it's like, 2013, 2012, or 11, whatever. When I first went in your house, the first thing your dad ever said to me when I walked in the door was like, Devin, who's this faggot? And I was like, oh.
That's the vibe we're going with today.
Maybe I was like laughing, but I was also like, oh.
I had a friend Bruce in high school, and this was the first time my parents had like let an outside kid move in with them. You know how my parents started doing that a lot after I had left. But this was the first time they let an outside kid move in with them, and it was my friend Bruce in high school.
I love Bruce.
Yeah, they loved Bruce.
Bruce is so cool. I miss Bruce.
I miss him too. I miss that
I
man.
liked all your friends you introduced me to.
Oh yeah, they were all nice people.
Yeah.
And freaking so, Bruce is sitting on the couch, and I am talking to him, saying, we have an extra bedroom. We could try to ask my parents. We could try to get you in to move in here, because he was having a really tough time at home. I'm not going to go into detail what was going on there, because that's a private story. That's his business.
Well, now you have to tell us.
But we called my parents down. It was just me and him sitting there, and they were standing there. We were all talking, and we asked them, and both my mom and dad are like, yeah, of course. Bruce is a good kid.
Yeah.
As long as you keep going to school and don't abandon responsibilities, we're more than happy
They
to
have
bring
him
you
pay
in.
rent too, or no?
No. Their rule was if you were going to school, you didn't have to pay rent in the house.
That's what he did with Sam too.
Yeah.
But Sam he did pay rent because Sam was like, I want to.
I want to contribute.
For himself.
That too. But so Bruce was gonna move in, and my mom tells him, she was like, Bruce, but if you are moving in, we have one rule in this house. And Bruce was like, okay, what's that rule? And my mom goes, every Wednesday night we play naked badminton in the front yard. If you want to live here, you have to participate. And I'm just staring at my mom the whole time. I've never heard my mom talk like this. And I'm just staring at her the whole time like... And Bruce is just sitting there and looking at her, and he's like, okay. He's completely down to play naked badminton with the family in the front yard.
You never told me about this.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sitting there like, what?
You should have been like, yeah, Bruce, like, I'm sorry I didn't tell you about this. You should have
I just kind of go with it, make it a really long story.
It would have been funnier if your mom, like, kind of was, like, brought you in on it, like, from before you talked to him, because then you could have been like, so, hey, they're going to bring up something really weird. I understand if it's a deal breaker, but, I mean, I haven't told you about this, but just prepare yourself.
Dude, that would have been great. Just, like, play it from the beginning.
Then to make him, like, to concrete it in his mind, like, this is actually a thing.
Yeah. It's funny, too,
Because he probably had some doubts, like, this is...
You guys were like good kids. I was not.
Yeah, I know your history.
It really sucks because like I wish I could say I surrounded myself with good people, but no, I was the kind of guy to like fuck other people over. So I kind of brought around what I
You
sowed.
would do.
I kind of reaped what I sowed. So, for example, I would like borrow toys, and I would like fuck them up. or I would like
You
steal
stole one from me.
Steal toys.
You stole
would.
like one of my favorite
Yeah.
Transformers. It was a Hulk Transformer
And
that
I
turned
got
into
your
a
cell
tank.
phone one.
It was gnarly, and then I'm like, because he came to my house, and
it
we're
was
just like,
gone.
because we're big Transformer guys, and I was like, couldn't find it, and I was like, hey Kevin, do you remember where? I was like, do you remember where we last saw it? And he's like, no. And he's like, I don't know.
Instantly,
and then, like years, like you played off like, because you're a good liar.
Yeah,
You're like,
I-
no,
I-
I
that's
didn't
one
see
thing.
it. Like I last saw it here, and I was like, I looked there, and I didn't see it. Like, well, I don't know, sorry. And then like years later, you told me like I think
I
during
was
high
trying to-
school.
Yeah.
So it was like, and we were nine.
Yeah, it was pretty close around that age.
It was almost a decade after you told me, and I was still like, you fucking dick.
So you were like, I knew it. I knew you took that.
I was like, I don't want to blame my friend. Because I like the only thing you stole from me that I knew.
We'll see that. Yeah, well, like, to be fair, we traded. You
We
traded
traded a
me a
lot.
cell phone transformer for the Hulk one.
Well, yeah, because
And then I took the Hulk one back.
Well,
so
'cause
I
like-
stole two things from you in one.
you did the whole like, you got the drugs and took the money.
Well, like, another example is I have my best friend Tommy. He
I almost didn't. You offered the trade, I think.
went.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was like,
did.
I almost did. I still didn't do it because I was like, I really like the cell phone.
Yeah.
So I had a camera and a cell phone.
Well,
I was like,
Tommy
dude.
had a Bumblebee, like the 1996 Camaro. I don't know exactly what year fucking Bumblebee's first car was from the first Transformers movie, but he had
That was
that
our first year of
version him.
friendship too, so I was definitely like, I'm not gonna blame him.
With Tommy, he gave me the Bumblebee one, and I loved
Tommy
this
or Dominic?
thing. Tommy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
So
don't know Tommy.
yeah, you wouldn't. Anyway, Tommy, he gave me.
I think Kevin only knew him because he lived in the neighborhood.
He lived down the street from me.
Yeah.
So he lets me borrow. He's like, you could borrow it. I was
The
like,
Hulk?
cool. No, the Bumblebee.
Oh,
And I was like, cool, sweet.
you're like, I gave it back.
Well, like that night, I'm infatuated with this thing. Like, I have transformed it 105 times. I'm sure of it. And I had just adopted it into my collection of like 25 Transformers. I wanted him so bad. And I called Tommy that night and I'm like, hey man. He's like, yeah. I was like, can I have this? I'll trade you something for him. He's like, no, I want my Transformer back. I was like, alright then. And I hang up with him. And I go, I said this out loud. If I can't have this, no one can. And I snapped the fucking head off. And I transformed it into the car, and I left it on the counter all night. I wake up in the morning, and that was my alibi for if he ever told my mom. I was like, Mom, you saw me put it on the counter, it was fine. So, like, the next day I get up, and I take it to him.
Did you put the head like inside?
No. I
You
just,
just
snapped
had
it
this-
off. threw it
I
in
would
the
have like
trash.
tried to place it to where it's like to when you untransformed it, it fell out to have like a little more of an alibi.
See, like, if I
But also
thought it
you were
through
like
that hard-
10 or something,
Yeah,
so it's like
if
you don't think like that.
Yeah, see, like, yeah, I was in the starting.
I probably would have
stages.
just because I would have been so like panicked over like him finding out.
No, he calls me. He calls my mom. He goes, "Can I talk to Kevin?" And he goes, "Actually, never mind." He hangs up. 5 minutes later, he's at my door, and he's like, "Can I talk to Kevin?" My mom comes in my room. Yeah, Tommy's here. I go, "What?" And I get up and I go outside. He's like, "Why is the head off my Transformer, Kevin?" I go, "You gave it to me like that." He's like, "Bullshit, Kevin. What happened to my head?" I was like, "You gave it to me like that." There's
I would've
watch,
said-
and I brought my mom. I was like, "Mom," and she comes over. and was like, "It was fine when I put it on the counter last night, right?" Like it was the way he gave it to me. She was like, "Yeah, it was fine." And he goes,
So you gaslighted him.
"It did." He got red faced, and he didn't say a word. He just turned around and left. And back then, I was like so fucking smug for getting away with it. But now I think about it, I'm like, God damn. That is like toxic manipulation
Dude,
at its finest.
I remember too, like back to the Hulk story. You told me too at the same time you were telling me about the Hulk one.
Yeah.
It was like, because I had a Darth Vader one, like a big Darth Vader one that was like turned into the Death Star.
Yeah.
And you told me like I almost took that one, but you're like that's too because like
That's too obvious.
Well, because like I always placed it like set up like in the sphere on the legs, in my window like it was a fucking trophy.
Yeah.
So like that was like it was part of my decoration of my room.
Yeah.
And I was like, because if you would have stolen that, I would have known.
Yeah.
Because like because whenever I was ever done playing with it, I always put the same exact spot.
Like that was your
fully
prized
transformed.
possession.
Yeah, fully It was. I brought this to school.
Yeah,
and
I
we,
remember
played
wanting it so bad.
but like it was literally like my one and only, like my favorite, my best toy. I didn't play with it a lot just because like I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
That's how much I loved it. So it was like it's like I would have known because I'm OCD, so like I play shit fucking.
Yeah,
Why I want
exactly.
it.
Which is why I didn't take it, but like at the same time,
Because if you knew if you had taken it, I would have fucking shown up at your house and he
took it. There's
I
no
know
way
for
I
a
gave
fact.
That motherfucker
And
has.
it's also big, so it's kind of hard to
It's
conceal.
It's hard to hide. You see, like I was such a dickhead back then. When I had first like started hanging out with you again, it was right after my big drug like teen phase.
That 7th grade.
Yeah. Well, no, it was more like 8th grade and like freshman year of high school.
Oh, like after you left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I had gotten in with a really bad crowd because Sequoia Village is a
Can
charter
remember, too,
school.
Before we all started got into smoking, because
Yeah.
we're all like Mormon raised. Well, Devin not really, but kind of.
Yeah.
I was Mormon raised, not like Jack Mormon raised.
Yeah.
Right? Like they still like drink and like do like tobacco, right?
Yeah.
But there's like any drug is like no way Jose. So like before we all started smoking weed, you were smoking weed. And
Yeah.
And me and Devin were like.
I was also smoking cigarettes at the time too.
Yeah. And you were like trying to get us like, we weren't even really big in alcohol, because we're kids, we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember when one time you were staying at Devin's house, when I think it was Camrin wasn't there, so you stayed in his room, or it was when the band room. It was when it became the band room.
Yeah, I must have been.
So you were out, but no one else was living in there.
Yeah.
And we were like, Kevin, like you can come over, but we're not drinking. You can't like bring weed. Like we're not doing that. And you're like, oh come on, please. Like at least for just me to have. And like no.
Yeah.
But like to be fair, like it's just being alcohol, but it's like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys were on a better path than I was, in short.
Were.
Now we're on the same level, so now you're not so bright, huh? I'm just kidding.
No, I'm not. I can't stand on my pedestal.
No.
It's funny to think about like in the past like that too, because of what happened to me and with my family, Devin despised marijuana. He was
dude,
he was
I remember,
on that
like,
drug trip of
right-
like I'm never gonna touch it.
Because
Yeah.
I was deep in the fan. I still kind of am, but not because we're all grown up now.
Yeah.
But when I was there, like every day basically, and like deep rooted, like where they got to the point where they're like, you're family now. Right?
Yeah, if
so
you
I was
asked for a
I
place
was
to
in
stay,
the
they
middle
bring
of
you
all
in.
that drama, and not like involved, but I was like
You're hearing
I
it.
was like in the house when they were talking about it. Devin told me about like every single time something new popped up, right? And Devin was like, if I ever do any driving weed, he like told me and Tyler, like, I want you to beat the shit out of me. Like he was deadly serious, and I was like, we're like, okay.
Okay. I mean, if that's
and
what you want.
now the guy is just
Because
never stopped smoking weed.
it's kind of like the anti. It's that whole. That still kind of goes on. Not nearly as much because now everyone's like
It's
more
fear-mongering.
educated. It was like the whole like anti-drug war, the drug war whole thing was still kind of going on.
Yeah.
So it was like we was like it's the
devil-
bad.
It's the giggly cabbage.
It's the gateway to going to
Fucking
hell.
heroin.
The devil's lettuce.
It wasn't any nicknames. Just like you're a criminal. You're a terrible person.
Well, like, to be
you're
fair-
a delinquent.
To be fair,
Yeah.
like
You kind of are a delinquent. If you
to be the devil's advocate of that argument, I didn't try any other drug until I smoked weed, but that wasn't because of weed. It was because I was introduced to other drugs.
Also, like
It's because
probably
it's
probably a little bit of peer
exploratory,
pressure as well.
Well, yeah, exactly. You want to be cool, but like I had my fair share of like hard drugs after weed, and like the deeper, like the harder it got, the fucking more angry I'd become. And there was like a certain point to where I was gonna hit my own mother, and like I stopped myself. Like I was like walking towards her, like fist clenched, and I stopped myself because my mother fucking loves me. Like there's no doubt in my
Your
head
mother's
that
such a nice
she
lady.
is so nice. One of
Very
the
nice
nicest
lady.
people I've met. And like she
I never saw it. Like I didn't go to your house that often.
Yeah.
Right? But like the few times, like I was like, she was like the nicest person, one of the nicest people I've ever met.
And I was about to hit her, and I
And she was in a
remember I was
wheelchair,
high
too.
off of methamphetamine at the
So
time.
on top of her being like your mom and like, she's like such a nice person. She was also like in a wheelchair.
Exactly.
So
She
it's
was
like-
in a wheelchair, so it was way more fucked
So
up.
like that, the other stuff is like really bad. But that like
That was, like-
multiplied it.
Yeah, it was like literally overfilling the
Your-
glass of fucking.
Your angel of a crippled
anger.
mother.
Yeah, and I stopped myself, and like thank God, because God would have known. God knows what I would have done if I didn't stop myself. And I took a long, while she was screaming at me because she knew I was gonna do it. I walked to the bathroom and I like fucking looked in the mirror for a good hour, just like bawling my eyes out, trying to think of like who I wanted to be, where I wanted to go, and I was like, I came to the conclusion that's not the life I wanted to lead. Like, I don't want to be always angry or like caught in this state of paranoia, always looking over my shoulder because I fucked somebody over. Like I wanted to stop living like that. So like, once I started hanging out with Trace again, and then I met Devin, and then I met you. That was like about 5 months after all that shit went down. And so like it was nice to finally meet people that weren't all about drugs. Like the fact that it was just me like at the time fiending for weed, like and wanting to smoke all the time, made it easier, and like it made it a faster acknowledgement of like I do have a problem and I need to get control of it. Because like now I'm not addicted to weed. I smoke it every day, but I'm not like I could go without it. If I run out, I'm not gonna fucking spend all my money.
You're not going. You're not chasing it.
I'm not chasing the high.
Yeah.
I'll take it or leave it. Yes, it helps, but it's not needed. It's just nice to have and be in an environment where I can.
Where everyone's like chill and like.
Yeah, I can be myself and express like
we
who
all
I
accept
want
you
to
for
be.
who you are. Basically.
Yeah. It's better now than it was ever back then. But like compared to your guys' childhood, fuck, I was the shithead of the group. I'm definitely the worst one here.
You're kind of. I'm not gonna. It's gonna be weird. But I feel like you were lucky that I was like kind of like oblivious to like how like mean.
Yeah.
'Cause I just thought you were like. Well,
Yeah,
because also up to you. I always got in arguments with friends, right?
Mhm.
So I just thought it was like me and you was like, oh, it's just one of those.
Yeah, for the
And I'll
longest
do that
time I
with my
thought I gave you
cousins, too.
Stockholm Syndrome, and I felt really bad about it.
But no, it was also just like, I'm very loyal.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing I can say about myself. I'm super loyal to my friends.
Yeah, and
Like, I say this as a joke. I can put this on like Tinder. Like I'm so loyal to like Devin.
yeah.
Everyone thought I was gay.
I do have to say, like, contributors that have molded my life to what I think of myself today is definitely the people I have met at a younger age. Having a specific friend group and people I admired and looked up to, and not just people I admired, but friends that would help me if I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, what one day that really strengthened my relationship with Jason was I was going through some dumb middle school girl drama with this kid that was just like doing everything in his power to get me mad, hurt me, or whatever. He never actually did anything. The only time something actually about happened was he was playing basketball at the basketball court, and me and Jason had just walked by.
Yeah.
And he had chucked a basketball as hard as he can, just like in the air, like trying to hit me with it.
Yeah.
And somebody had saw the ball flying through the air and screamed heads, to protect your heads. And right when I turned around, I saw Jason's big meaty hand just catch the fucking basketball, like right in front of my face. And I'm just like, and then he throws the basketball back at them, and he was like, "Come on, let's go." And we just walked away, and I'm sitting there like,
Ninja.
I was like, this guy just freaking saved me from getting bloody nosed. I was like, this guy's badass.
Like Trace said, I never got fucked with
in
Yeah,
that's
he
just
did.
because
But you fought back.
yeah,
I think
like,
5th grade is what solidified. No one wanted to fuck with you. 'Cause
Yeah.
I think all the kids. Cause it was on the playground. All the kids knew we were getting like bullied, right?
Mhm.
And dealing with this one guy
yeah,
and his little groupie.
Yeah.
I remember too. I thought it was so funny.
there was like 4 of them.
I remember the tall guy.
Yeah,
I
there
remember
was
this
a
one specific
fat one,
memory
too.
where
It
we're
was
like, no, it
stereotype
wasn't the
of
fat
what a
guy.
gang-
Yeah, it was like a yeah, it was a gang.
was.
There's a short one.
Yeah,
The
it
main
was a
guy.
straight
The main guy.
stereotypical gang.
The main guy was like beefy. And,
Yeah.
like, had like the shortest
The buzz cut,
like
yeah.
a really not like the short like it's just barely stubble buzz cut.
Yeah, it's,
I remember too like we would tell like if we didn't tell anybody until we got like bad.
yeah, and it did get bad.
I remember
at
like
points.
kind of like in the. I remember there was one point where me and the tall lanky kid was chasing me and the principal walked by and we just stopped and like locked arms like we're buddies and like smiled and walked past them and then like the second he was like past us I like broke away and like sprinted again.
Dude, that's got to be like, dude, somebody's got to make a skit like that.
Dude,
That
right.
is so funny. That's so fucking funny.
Yeah, and then
Like,
you were
it's stupid, but
you were
it's funny.
dealing with like the other 3.
I know.
And then I was like dealing
That
with
was a really shitty day. I'd come home with bruises all the time, and my mom really did get worried. She was like,
and now the teachers did believe
she
us.
didn't. No, and
I told my
mom-
teacher like me and you came to my classroom and we told my teacher and she's like I don't believe you.
Yeah, my dad
Like
at that,
point blank was like I don't believe you.
my dad at that point, when he saw me coming home with bruises, he knew exactly what was going on because he was a hard kid when he was growing up too. At that point, he started training me at a box, and like I'll never forget it. Our first training experience, Mom was at her computer. She was on the phone dealing with jobs to get appointed. So my dad takes me out front. He's like, you've been fighting, huh? And I was like, I have a couple bullies. And he's like, well, we're going to show you how to deal with them. But first you got to know what it feels like to get punched. And you can't be scared. And I was like,
Okay.
okay. And like in my head I was like, this is kind of cool, but I'm scared to get hurt. And I'm thinking in my head, like at a point I was like, he's not gonna throw me.
He's not gonna.
He's
really
like
hurt
not
me.
gonna he's not gonna win
deck me. He's gonna.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, put up your hands. And I put up my hands, and he shows me how to like the sideways step, so your body's more like thin, less to hit.
Yeah.
And he goes, all right, now you ready? You're gonna feel what a punch is.
Did he punch you in the face?
Oh man, I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And right at like the second I finished that sentence, right in the nose.
Because that was being unexpected too.
No, yeah, but like he hit me hard. Like I was bleeding from the nose.
Like
and
you
I
just
like
jabbed
yeah,
it, just whack.
yeah, and I fell to the floor and I was like crying with my nose in my hands and he was like, get up. I was like, what? My hands are all bloody and I'm freaking out and he grabs my hand and he lifts me up and he's like, get up. And I was like, what are you? And he punches me in the stomach and I saw blood
That's like
spurt out my
anime,
nose.
like
And
that's
I
like
fucking fell to the floor and I was like, ah! And he
that's like
covered
this-
my mouth. And I know it's to not, because he knew if my mom found out how like he was doing this, she would have freaked. But he needed me
this
to
is
know.
like a movie. This is like from a movie. This is like stereotypical like.
He like covered
dad-
my mouth on the floor. And I remember like him calming me down and he goes, I'm not going to hurt you anymore. Today.
Today.
And in my head, I like started to tear up more, start freaking out. He was like, "No, you need to stop because this isn't something that I want you to learn. This is something you need to learn because I'm not gonna be around it forever." And that really hit me because in my head I was like, "Oh, my dad. I can't picture him gone," which he is now, bless his heart. But like,
That was really cool too.
he was
Yeah.
cool.
He's a
And
real nice guy.
he
It was a cool balance at your house because like, your mom was like the really nice like lady and then your dad's like the cool like old guy.
Yeah. So like my dad from that point had taught me to fight, and like the day I felt confident enough was the day I had like taken 5 punches from my dad and they were pretty hefty. And I was like, the fact that I could still get up from it, I was like, if I could take this, I can definitely fucking take those kids. I don't even care if it's the big one, because my dad's biceps were like the size of my head.
Yeah.
So like
And we had big heads.
that was the next day. That's when I stood up to them.
That was when the concrete.
Yeah, that was
Dude.
when the concrete happened.
Dude,
like I
do you-
smashed his nose in.
Dude, do you remember like the last like couple weeks of that year where the bully came up and he dressed like he he was like apologizing to us,
Yeah.
and he resembled like the perfect like nice kid from that goes to your school, like that lived down the road.
Yeah.
Like, he's like the schoolboy.
He was like super.
He had like a collared shirt.
Dude, I remember the next year we saw him. I remember like.
We didn't see him because he was in the high. He was in the,
I remember seeing him somewhere, and I remember like saying something like along the lines of "Do you remember me?" And he just walked past me like he didn't even fucking recognize me.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you that was like a shameful moment of like I just got my nose bloodied by a little fucking kid.
Oh, kind of back to when I was bullying Dominic, so I don't seem like a total asshole.
Yeah.
So like after that, like I remember we went to a parent teacher conference with my mom, and she was like, we walked past Dominic. Dominic told my mom, I was like, he picks on me, and like he's mean to me. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then like after that, I like thought about it, I was like,
I am a dick.
I'm a dick, and I was like, dude. After that point, I was so nice to him.
Mm.
Like not like patronizingly nice,
Yeah.
but like
I wish I was the same.
more
way.
of like the supporting. I'm like, that's cool. Like a casual, like an acquaintance, like what, like a casual like friend at school would be, right?
Do you remember my
We're
first?
friends on Facebook.
Do you remember my very first girlfriend? Alex.
Yeah, I was talking about like the girl from junior high.
Yeah.
She was cool
She.
to an extent.
To an extent.
Doritos. That's Doritos.
No.
And she was like
No.
we're like Kevin's dating an older girl. She was like a year older
Yeah.
or two. I think she was two.
She was
but,
two. She was two.
But she was like still. I think did she get held back? Think was that why she was two, or she
I
just
don't
come
know.
in late?
I think she just came in late.
Remember, because I had a class with her,
Yeah.
and I was like, nice. And she was like the goth chick, and I was like, oh god, because I was emo.
Yeah.
Dude, all the.
I was like the most colorful kid too.
Yeah, I remember.
It's funny to
7th
think
grade,
about too. Like our entire generation, like goth chicks are just all like. Every
We're
time.
all emo.
The thing that really like made me kind of weird about her was like the cat ears, but all in all, she was a nice gal. Like I'm not gonna deny, like she was a really good first just because she knew what she was doing,
Mine
and
I
being
had-
somebody who didn't know anything was a nice start. And she's so accepting of like me not knowing what to do in a relationship or how to treat
my
it.
first and
My first and
only-
last.
my girlfriend. Yeah, my first and last so
Damn.
far was 7th grade that same year, and it was for a week. I don't even know if it would count it, honestly.
Fuck.
You won it, but that's like my only record, so I kind of have to.
We need to
For,
get
like-
you out there, Trace.
Well, and I'll get into this after. So like,
It's sad to
It
say.
sucked.
Off camera.
it sucked because like it began kind of not how I wanted it to.
Yeah.
Because like she was in like she was in our emo kid group,
Mhm.
and remember Marcelo?
Yeah.
Marcelo's in that group, and he knew.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, but he knew. I think he had liked her too. I think he's why he did this, but he knew I liked her.
Who? Paloma?
No, Marcelo knew I liked. No, this girl named. I didn't date Paloma. I dated Amber.
Okay.
Fuck, I'll believe out the last time I said her last, but sorry. And it sucks because it didn't start out the way I wanted it to.
Need to get used to this.
Because Marcelo fucking in the middle of lunch, she was in line. He went up. He was like, "I'm gonna tell her. You want to ask?" 'Cause I was planning on it, but I was kind of like, I'm not as bad, but I was like, I was a very like nervous child when it
Being
came to this
around
kind
me
of stuff.
most of
like
the
I could
time,
talk
I
to
can
girls,
understand
right?
why.
I could talk to girls as
Yeah.
friends. I can be like friends, like no problem. That was
But the
never a
second
problem with
you,
me.
like,
But
got-
when it's like when I'm trying to like go into like dating territory,
Well,
like
you're kids, you don't know what
hyping
to
up.
say.
Well, fucking still. Well, I'm not as I'm more like if I fucking feel like time is right, I'm just gonna do it. But anyways, cause I fucking missed a few opportunities with that where I'm like I fucking
Motherfucker.
I could be in a relationship right now if I didn't fuck this up. Not this story, but another one.
Yeah.
But anyways, because he's like, I'm gonna tell him like, don't, Marcelo, please don't. Like, and he's like, no, I'm doing it. Because they're all waiting for me, right? And obviously I'm trying to hype myself up.
Yeah.
But I think it was like I was planning like that week or like I was like I'm just gonna fucking do it. But then he's like I'm gonna do it for her. I'm gonna go tell her you want to ask her out. And I was like no, don't. And he fucking ran up and was like hey, Trace wants to know if you want to go out. And I'm like fucking Marcelo,
You little dick.
bitch, you dickhead.
I did something
and
very
then
similar
she
to
did
you.
say yeah sure. And then I was like I have a girlfriend. And
Marcelo!
I was like
My boy!
well I was like still mad. I was like whatever. But I'm in a relationship now because of it. So fucking whatever.
It's like, hey, I got your girl.
But then like it was like a week-long relationship. But I think it sucks because like I think I creeped her out by accident.
Trace is just like sitting with her in the lunchroom, and he's just like in her face.
No, it wasn't
just
that.
like ready for any conversation to pop up, and he's just staring. He's
No. I was quiet, just cause, but like we would just hang out and like hold hands, to a certain extent. And I hang out. It sucked. Like the weekend came, and I was like, I'm gonna hang out with her at her apartment. She lived down the street from the school.
okay.
And I was like, I'm gonna go to tell my mom I'm hanging out with Devin or something. So I was like, I don't want my family to know. I'm like very private.
Yeah.
Like I don't talk to my family about anything. I talk to my friends about shit.
yeah.
I don't go to my family. And then
Fuck my family.
so I was like, I didn't tell anyone I was dating anybody at all. I don't think my mom even knows to this day. My dad, my stepmom knew because fucking my stepmom was just always asked questions. She's like, "Are you dating?" She's like, "Do you have a girlfriend yet?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "Yeah, you do." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah. But anyway, that's the only reason they knew is because she fucking caught me in a lie. But there was a weekend came and I went to go to her apartment to hang out. We hung out like the whole day until her brother got out of school at the elementary at Whipple. Right?
Yeah.
And I was also down the fucking road, so we walked down and we were just fucking around the whole time with like those, those trees that have like the really viney not branches, but they're just like really like, they're like stringy and viney.
Yes.
So we were like fucking around with those things the whole walk. And like, I think it was over the course of like 2 days, honestly, because like I think I went to her house twice, or no, yeah, or we would hang out after school. Some fucking earlier that week. Anyway, she like wrote something on my wrist, like just random numbers for something, and I was like, fuck, it's like I'm like my girlfriend wrote on my arm, and I was like, I just took a picture of my flip phone. That's it, like right. I was like, it's a memory. I don't take pictures of anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the... And then we were hanging out that weekend at her, like just waiting for her brother to get out of school. And she was looking, I was letting her go through my phone. I was like, I don't have anything to hide, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, she found that picture, just the number. So she wrote the number she wrote on my arm. She's like, what's this? I'm like, oh, just I thought I'd just take a picture. And like the next day, she like broke up with me over text, and I was like,
Why would she think that was creepy?
and she was like, I like you as a brother. I was like, okay.
Well, that's the reason.
I think I just creeped you out. I think I just creeped you out for
I
a
am
picture.
a guy like me. Fuck, wrong.
But that was like 7th grade, so it's like,
It's funny looking back at my like entire school like history. I can honestly say the funnest and happiest year ever when I was in school was definitely 7th grade. And like the reason why I could say that, it's because like 6th grade I had a crush on somebody. It caused a lot of problems, a lot of weird girl issues. 7th grade, I had a lot of girls that were friends, but like I wasn't into anybody, and I was just constantly making friends in 7th grade. Because by the time 7th grade came around, I was in football. I was, I was active. I was very outgoing. Like how Devin is. Very talkative, outgoing, making friends, and that's kind of like how I was. I had friends in every group. I had friends in the emo group. I had friends in the I had friends in the nerd group, friends in the jock group. 7th grade was just the happiest year of my life. It all went down in 8th grade because my parents wanted to move to the mountain, and I had like established so many friendships. I had like ideas with my friends that we were going to go to high school together, do all this stuff. Like we all had already explored like the high school together and looked at things, and we were just super excited to go. That's kind of like where I got super depressed at one point and really crashed down, was because all that happened.
you met me.
And then I met Trace, and it just kept going down.
Your life your life got better from there.
But like it's funny though, because
it's true.
Out of all the years that I was in middle school or elementary school in that area,
Yes.
I had only gotten a yearbook for my 7th grade year. So like all my good memories, good friends, and everything are in this yearbook. And like I can only recognize like a few of them as like really good friends that
Yeah.
impacted my life. But then there's other shit that I read, like, people just writing, love you so much, Cameron. Hang out over the summer or whatever. Signed, so and so, and I'm just like, who the fuck is this?
You hate when you have those like right. You have all your people you're friends with, or at least like decent and like class friends with, like sign your yearbook. I was going through mine the other day, right? And I was like, because I have my junior year, and my senior year,
Yeah,
and like those people who like you can't read their signature,
yeah.
and they're like, you're such a good friend, I love you, this and that, and you're like, who
did that?
And you're like, you make out the first letter, or at least like part of the name, and you're like, I still don't know who this is.
I don't know.
Who is this person?
Yeah.
And dude, I freaking when I was in middle school, Jason had this brilliant idea of, hey, let me take your yearbook so I can give it to more of your friends that you don't have classes with, so I can get their signatures in there for you. And so I was all up for it because I didn't share any classes with my friend Connor, and Jason was going to go meet up with Connor, so Jason was going to Connor to get his signature and stuff for me. Well, Jason had forgot which book was his, and then proceeded to carve his name into my book of the cover of it, thinking it was his. And he gave it back to me. He was like, I kind of messed up. And I was like, what did you do? And he was like, well, I never actually signed your yearbook, and I accidentally carved my name into the front of yours. So I think we're just going to leave it as that, as my signature in your yearbook. I was like, I guess that's okay. So I still have that hardcover yearbook with just Jason carved in the front of it.
Had that happened to me, but with my iPod.
Really? Oh,
I'm still really good friends with this guy. Cause I wasn't like that mad, but I was like mad at the moment.
Yeah.
But like remember Riley?
Yeah.
I love Riley. I worked with him at Torion. Anyways, in junior high, I let him borrow my iPod for like a week. I'm like, yeah, sure. And it didn't like break, he like shattered the screen or something. Not shattered, but he like cracked the screen.
Yeah.
And like he was like so afraid to tell me. He was like went up to Devin. I was like, hey, can you tell Trace that I cracked the screen of his iPod? And he came up to me and Devin told me. I'm like, what? And I looked down the hallway and I started looking all scared. I'm like, Riley, what the fuck? Like I was like, he's like, I'm so sorry. Like I can pay for whatever. I'm like, it's fine. Like it was like, well, I think they made it sound weird. I don't remember. I remember I calmed down fairly quickly. I don't think it was just a little crack, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever.
At least it's not spidered.
Yeah, it wasn't like my phone's fucking. If someone did this to my phone, like where my phone's at now, I have cracks fucking on the front. The back looks like this too. It's just dark, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
If it was like that, I've probably been like, still
God
like
dang
okay.
Yeah.
But anyways, go ahead on if you still have more story to tell.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, during that whole yearbook process too, I had a friend that stole my yearbook from me 3 times, so she can sign it 3 different times. And it's funny, I know exactly where every single signature is, and I think it's hilarious. But at the time she stole it, my friend Zach took it from her at one point, and he was like, "Wait, I gotta do something first." And he was the one that started that first to sign your crack trend. He signed the crack of the yearbook.
No one did that. That wasn't a thing when we were doing yearbooks in high school.
When
Yeah, we I don't know if you guys ever had it, but we had like hags going around on our yearbooks.
Witches?
Have a great summer.
Oh.
Yeah, HAGS. Have a great summer, and everybody was writing hags in everybody's yearbook.
No one did that either in my Dude, my junior year one, I got depressed. Sorry to interrupt a lot.
No, you're good.
I feel bad for whoever listens because they're just gonna think I'm an asshole to interrupt.
Well, you
everybody.
are. No,
Yeah, but like, I don't do it. I get excited about telling a story. I'm like, I'll start. I catch myself a lot, so they'll be like, huh. Oh. And,
how long do you guys want to do this one for? I know you got to work in the morning.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Okay.
but like, there was a whole joke where it was like, I'm gonna fucking kill myself, right? That was a kill myself era of comedy,
Yes.
of meme, right? And then like, so most of like at least half was like, don't like, don't kill yourself. Whatever,
Yeah.
like his jokes. It was obviously jokes. But then this chick who's like who's the senior, who was like this hipster chick that I like had a big crush on. Because I was friends with her too. So she signed my yearbook and she like read all of them. And she was like this big like this is paragraph like, hey, I know it's like a joke, but like please don't joke about that anymore. Like you're such like a cool guy and this and that. Like I felt so bad. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
I never personally ever got a yearbook. I was part of the
Pussy.
yearbook club, and it was a draft, but I was the Kickstarter for the page, the Pedophile Corner.
What?
The what?
The Pedophile Corner. We took everybody who looked remotely like a pedophile in high school and put them on a page. It was a draft, and on the side of the page, in like,
Was it like a
red,
page?
scratchy lettering font, we put Pedophile Corner, and like it had jail bars as the background of the cake, like the.
Was it
page.
like a printed page that was in the yearbook, or was it like a page you all guys added?
It was a page that we had in our portfolio for the pages of the yearbook, and we were planning on putting it in
Like
as
did
a
you guys,
big fuck you for the last day of school.
Oh, so it was like there was people who worked on the yearbook in school too, or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
Did it go through with it, or?
oh my god. So, we get there. We get to the day where it's supposed to be printed, and we are so fucking excited because this whole time we've expected somebody to say, "What the hell?
Yeah, what is this?
What is this?" And so it hasn't happened, and it's the day it's gonna get printed.
Like printed or
We
released?
are talking about it all morning, like throughout our classes, whatever class
So
the
when you say
yearbook club was
printed,
in.
was it like submitted, like the day you were going to submit it, or the day like it was coming out?
The day to submit it.
Oh, okay.
I should clarify that. It was the day to submit it.
Well, that's probably what it sounded like, but I just wanted to make sure. If you
Yeah,
meant
no,
that's
it's
what-
better
what
that I
it
do
meant.
clarify that. So, if it gets submitted and, like, we're super excited. We're like, when's it going to be printed? We have unreal expectations. Like, it's going to be printed today. And, fucking idiots, right? Well, all of us get called up. They're like, the entire yearbook club.
Were you
come
in
up
the
to
club, or were you just,
office.
like, friends
I
with
was
it?
in it.
Oh, okay.
And we all go, and we all know what this is about. We instantly are like, fuck, we're caught.
Like were you all in
And
the
we
same
get
class?
into the vice principal's
Or did they
office.
call over the intercom?
He called it over the
So it was like
intercom.
you heard all you guys' names. You're like, oh shit.
No,
No,
we
and
didn't
then
hear
you just
all
called
our
the
names.
club.
The club,
Oh.
the yearbook club.
But either way, you're like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Well, we all go down there, and we're like, all right, what's up? And the vice principal brings us in, and he closes the door, and he goes, this is funny but inappropriate.
Dude, my vice principal would have been like, or my principal would have been like, this is very
He
inappropriate.
was like, who was the one who came up with this? Because seriously, this is messed up. And everybody's like looking kind of at me, but they're like looking around, playing it off. And I raise my hand, and I go, Mr. Kreider, it was me. I decided to do this. And he goes, if I could give you a raise, I would.
That's
But
awesome.
I can't. This
I
has
can't
to get
pay you.
This like it's like I gotta reprimand you for this. This isn't okay. And I was like,
He should have been like, I'll make copies just
he was
for
like,
you guys.
okay, since he already confessed, I want everybody else out. I need to talk to Kevin. And everybody leaves, and they're all like patting my back on the way out, like good luck and shit. And they close the door, and he's like, Kevin, can you sit down for a minute? And I sit down. He's like, have I ever told you I think you're one of the most creative people in the entire school? I was like,
Dude,
no,
you had
you-
such cool like staff.
dude, this guy
faculty.
believed in. This was the same guy who, like,
Was
went-
the teacher?
Put me, yeah, he put me.
Did he get
like,
promoted or something?
Yeah, he did get promoted. Like, it was
our-
when I was in high school that this happened. But when
Yeah.
the stand up shit happened.
Because in our high school, like our vice principal he had a year where he was still vice principal, but he taught like a math class for a year. So I don't know if it was like that kind of situation.
Yeah, I did get 50 points because we had a point system for punishments. We have 100 at the beginning of the year, and every time you get sent to the office, you get like 10 taken away. And like if you get down to 0, you're expelled. So like he did take 50 points away, leaving me at like 25
had
for
to
the rest
show,
of the year. Just to like show that he did reprimand me.
Because if I bet like all the faculty knew,
Yeah.
or at least the teachers and the
Oh, dude,
higher
no,
up.
for sure. Like
So
the
it's like-
principal knew, and by then, I'm sure everybody.
So if it came out
else
like
did.
he didn't like reprimand you, they're probably like he probably been in like kind of
Yeah.
shit.
I was his favorite mainly because whenever I would do something wrong, whether it be like cuss in a classroom, disrespect a teacher, or like, cuss a kid out or hurt a kid, it was always kind of justified in a simple term of like, if I would disrespect a teacher, it'd be because she'd be calling me specifically out for something when that just wasn't right.
Dude, I teach like that.
And when fight with kids, it was me defending my other friends. Like I would step in for all my friends getting in fights if they were like getting rocked, and I'd be the punching bag and be the rocker for them. So like Mr. Kreider, as the vice principal throughout high school, he would deal with me all the time. But this guy saw so much potential in me that it made me really want to go to school. And I think that's something that a lot of teachers don't realize. It's not about how friendly you are with the kids. It's about actually believing in them. Like, you don't just say, like, I'm here for you.
That's why I had that was my graphic design teacher for me.
Like, you say, you have so much potential. Or like you keep on going. You motivate them by showing them that they're greater than they think they are. With the day that Mr. Kreider told me that he thought I was like one of the funniest kids on the playground at recess, and like made me do stand up in front of the class, I can't thank him enough for that, because that made me realize I do want to be a stand up comedian for sure. Yeah. Like ever since that day, I've been writing jokes.
Yeah, like that's how my graphic design teacher was for me. Like he was always like super supportive, and like my 8th grade is when it really like. I always liked him, but 8th grade is when he really, because one thing he did, I think he trusted me, and like My Hero, there's like the big 3.
Yeah.
He had that kind of system in his graphic design class for the seniors.
Okay.
It wasn't called anything. It was just like you knew, if everyone knew who they were, right? Yeah. Not like famous, like, oh my gosh, like worship them, but it's like, oh yeah, he's like, that's Butler's trusted.
Yeah.
And like, there was the seniors for when we were juniors, because we had, like, we were in the same hour. It was just still 2 different classes. So it was, like, Graphics 2, Graphics 3. They just had different assignments.
Yeah.
When it was, like, when the senior year came, it was me, Tyler, and Sam, who lived in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Sam? I'll bleep it out.
Oh, yeah.
You should know Sam. He was the kid that was...
Yeah, I know.
We gave him the idea for his gamer tag on here. It's his... But anyways... Like, but that's one reason why like he kind of inspired me a little bit, because it was me, him, and Sam he trusted me with like projects, and trusted me and someone else with projects. Like, we always did. There's these banners that would go up in the high school, and he trusted me and Sam. We did like all the banners when we were, at least in our hour. I think we did most, because I don't think his other group of graphic kids were like were shitty.
Yeah.
And they didn't. Our class was like good because.
Who was your teacher? Mr. Woolley?
Mr. Butler.
Oh, okay.
Woolley was junior high.
Okay.
But like, because that class we were all in had all the good good at like doing it, and like that actually cared. His other class didn't give shit. Really. Yeah. So they didn't really have as much skill. Because they just weren't invested like we were. But then like me and Sam pretty much did all the banners. They did a few, but we did most of the banners. It was fucking hard work. It sucked. But we made the stickers for the office front door. And just projects like that, was like that you put up to around the school.
Okay.
And that was like one. And then he wrote me. I got one scholarship in high school. I didn't really pursue. I didn't think I was really gonna really do much.
Yeah.
At the time, but then I was like, I should. It's like, because after I graduated, and it was kind of like. I probably still could get scholarships if I went out for it, but I'm just not.
You just have other plans.
Also, like, I wasn't as interested in going to college afterwards.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pursue any scholarships. There was one I pursued, because I was like, I think I might go into graphic design. And he applied me to that scholarship, and I got, like, $600.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had him write me a recommendation just for anything in the future. Right, just a general recommendation for graphic design related things I do. So if I'm probably gonna use it when I eventually go to GCU for graphic design and animation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he wrote me like a really nice recommendation. I was like,
nice.
Oh.
I think we should kind of wrap this one up.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I think we're gonna call it good.
Wait,
I kind of want to wrap it up on a good note there, like a wholesome.
Oh, I think Trace had a question for the group too that he wanted to ask.
Well, it's way too late. It was like an early.
Oh, okay.
It was like... It was like it would have been more preferable to put it in the beginning, but we've gotten like other stuff.
Okay.
I kind of want to just like end this with one more story of
It's the whole story.
It's a wholesome story, and just to show that I'm not a complete asshole. There was one time in Sequoia during my high school years where I had my group of friends, and we were like, I always hung out with the jocks, of course at first at lunchtime, but I would always move on to the loner kids and the outcasts just to like talk with them, get them to talk to somebody and laugh. And because at that point that was my motivation. I was like, stop being a hard ass. You need to like loosen up, and you need to like motivate other people by making them like want to come to school, by making them laugh. So there's this girl named Jan. I'm just gonna call her Jan. Anyway, I had gotten the bright idea on her birthday we had a separate building for the lunchroom, and so I took that lunchroom, and it was a Friday, and it was one of the last days of school, so everybody was just doing their own thing for the rest of the day. Well, like I and a couple other friends had the great idea because it was Jan's birthday.
What was the name?
It was Jan.
Jan.
It was Jan's birthday. So I was like, let's throw her a party since it's like one of the last days of school. So we got so many things in this short amount of time. It was like a 3-hour time span, but we had what do you call the paper?
What?
The paper.
Paper airplanes?
No, like paper that you like. You put decoration paper.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
No.
Streamers.
Yeah. We got a hold of some streamers, and we got a hold of balloons from the old faculty room, and we actually got one of my friend's mom to bring a cake that I paid for.
Awesome.
I know, and I brought a Bluetooth speaker, and it had a cool light on it that would change the beat with the music. It was all set up, dude. We were so proud of ourselves. And needless to say, when Jan opened the door, Jan opened that door. When Jan opened that door,
yeah, it's hard to like change names.
It is. It really
you get
is.
into telling the story.
Yeah.
That's why I just don't say it. If we say last name next time, I'll bleep it out. But
yeah, well,
that's why I don't care about.
Well, she opened the door and all the balloons came down. She was like really surprised. And we had cake and ice cream. It was a pretty nice last day. But I remember the girl that I've been trying to get with for like 3 years in a row actually came up to me at the end of the party, and she was like, what you did was actually really sweet, and I just want to let you know that you gained some points in my eyes. I never got with her. Fucking bleak ending. Tricked ya. Good night, everybody.